At the gala, a touching encounter revealed an unexpected billionaire heir's life-changing search. The night of the gala arrived, alive with a buzz that crackled through Willow Creek. Alex's heart raced as she stared at her reflection, the soft glow of the lamp highlighting the dress she salvaged from the back of her closet. It hugged her like a warm embrace, something she desperately needed. Tonight, she hoped for a miracle, a dream break, something to lift her and little Lily above the grind of their daily life. As she stepped into the elegantly decorated hall, the contrast of her frugal reality and the shimmer of wealth was jarring. The overflowing buffet tables, adorned with glistening crystal chandeliers, seemed to tease her. But the sight of the familiar faces of neighbors, those who shared her hardships and dreams, filled her with warmth. This was more than just a gala, it was a bond, a hope for everyone in the room. Then, it happened. In a flurry of excitement, she collided with him. Jack Carter, his presence commanding, but the vulnerability in his eyes matched her own struggles as a single mother. He was cloaked in the responsibilities of his family's legacy, just as she was bound by her devotion to Lily. Their conversation flowed naturally as they confronted their realities, sharing laughter and a few bitter truths. "I feel like I wear my mother's apron sometimes," Alex said, a nervous chuckle escaping her lips. Jack nodded, understanding her struggle more than she'd imagined. In that moment, they connected, their spirits lifting like the colorful decorations swaying above them. The heartfelt exchange seemed to forge a new friendship amidst the shimmering chaos, one built on mutual respect. But it was no secret that their worlds clashed as they conversed openly, drawing eyes and whispers from the other guests. The whispers soon morphed into an ugly undercurrent, annoying murmurs about privilege and resilience blurred together. Alex felt the weight of their judgments like a heavy cloak. Would they ever understand her fight? Just as hope seemed to flourish, the chatter grew louder, making her chest tighten. Jack's face paled as he struggled to maintain composure. Social pleasantries were rapidly deteriorating around them. "I just want to be seen for who I am, not for my last name," he whispered, urgency in his voice. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. The informal connection began to unravel as tension crackled in the air. Alex could feel her heart pounding, each beat urging her to stand strong, to not back down. Jack's gaze flickered between the despair of the crowd and the strength in Alex's eyes. This wasn't just about him, it was about lifting each other up, breaking the chains of societal judgment. As tablecloths fluttered in the evening breeze outside, Alex stood at a crossroads, reeling from the push and pull of fear and hope. Whether they would bridge the gap between their worlds became a question that hung heavily in the air. The warm music turned into an oppressive hum, but within that chaos, an unexpected partnership began to bloom. Would they be brave enough to confront the townsfolk's whispers, together? The answer lingered, a lingering sweet promise on a night thick with uncertainty. The chatter swirled around them like a storm, but Alex's focus was solely on Jack. There was something undeniably magnetic about the connection they had forged, even in this environment that threatened to pull them apart. She could sense a change in him as well. He held her gaze with a determination she hadn't seen before. Suddenly, Jack took a step closer. "Forget the noise," he said, his voice steady, yet soft. "Let us step outside. I need some air." With a shared glance that held unspoken agreement, they slipped past the prying eyes of the crowd, leaving behind the gilded chaos of the gala. The cool night air wrapped around Alex like a fresh start. Out here, beneath the stars, their individual burdens felt a little lighter. Jack leaned against the railing, looking out over the grounds lit by twinkling lights. "You know," he began, "I've always felt suffocated by expectations. My family has this vision of me, but it has nothing to do with who I really am." He let out a heavy sigh. Alex nodded, taking a breath as she considered her own fight against expectations. "I get that," she said. "People see me as the single mom struggling to make ends meet. But I'm more than that. I have dreams, too." Jack turned to her, his eyes glowing with curiosity. "What are your dreams?" The question hung in the air, a challenge that Alex hadn't expected. With a slight tremor in her voice, she confessed, "I want to give Lily a life that's full of possibilities. I want to write again, share stories that inspire hope. Sometimes, I feel like I'm just surviving, not really living." Jack's expression softened, like he understood the weight of those words all too well. "You deserve to thrive. We both do." There was a sincerity in his voice that made Alex's heart flutter. "Spirit energized," she said, "then let us help each other. Your family is rich in influence. I could use that know-how while you could the fresh perspective of someone who cares deeply about this town." He smiled at her, hope radiating in the cool night air. "I'd like that. We could make a real difference." But as he spoke, the suppressed murmurs from the Gala seemed to surge in the distance, snapping them back into reality. With her heart racing, Alex remembered that the path ahead would be littered with obstacles. Her insecurities began to tug at her mind again, the whispers of doubt lurking just beneath the surface. Suddenly, the laughter from the Gala felt closer, and Alex's breath caught in her throat. "What if everyone is right?" she whispered. "What if we fail?" Jack reached out, his hand taking hers, grounding her in that moment. "Failure is part of any journey, Alex. But regret from not trying that could haunt us forever." His words struck a chord deep within her. She felt alive in that instant, the tension of the evening dissolving a little more. "So, we try harder, together," she resolved, squeezing his hand softly. Just as the connection surged between them, a man stepped onto the balcony. His imposing figure was someone Alex recognized, a powerful businessman known for his ruthless dealings. He stepped forward, his gaze sharp and calculating. "What's this? A little late-night chat with the townsfolk? You two don't really think you can change anything, do you?" An icy chill passed through Alex. Suddenly, the glimmer of hope felt fragile, threatened by the expectations that pinched at them like thorns. Jack's grip on her hand tightened. Would they face this challenge, or would fear dictate their fate? As the night unfolded, uncertainty loomed, leaving Alex on the edge of a precipice. Would she and Jack stand firm against the doubts pressing down on them? The tense moment echoed with a question that carried the weight of their newly forged bond, one that could either crumble or ignite change in Willow Creek. What would it take for them to truly take their stand? The businessman's laugh sliced through the night air. "You think you can just waltz in here and make a difference? You don't even know what you're up against." Alex felt the harsh sting of his words like a slap across her face. For a moment, doubt washed over her, an overwhelming tide ready to drown her dreams. But she looked at Jack, whose resolve seemed unshaken. He stepped forward slightly, his stance widening as he faced the man. "We're up against our own fears, not to mention the ability to inspire change," Jack replied, his voice steady and calm. "You might think you know what this town needs, but it's the people in it who hold the real power." The businessman scoffed but didn't respond right away. Alex could see the tension building in Jack's jaw, the determination in his eyes only fueling her inner fire. She took a deep breath, stepping beside Jack. "We may be starting from scratch, but it's the heart of the community that counts," she added, conviction pouring from her. "It's about hope, not just wealth." The man paused, tilting his head as if reconsidering the weight of their words. Then he sneered, "Hope doesn't pay bills, sweetheart. Don't forget your place." For a fleeting moment, Alex almost retreated behind her insecurities, but then Jack squeezed her hand tighter, a silent encouragement. "No," he said, his voice low but filled with strength. Don't underestimate the power of hope. It's what keeps people going. It's what drives us to change. The businessman narrowed his eyes, contemplating Jack's fierce tone. You think you can sway me with words? You have no idea what real influence is like. Maybe not, Jack said, meeting his gaze with boldness. But we believe in something bigger. And who's to say that real influence isn't shaped by passion and commitment? As silence fell, the chilly air seemed to crackle with tension. Alex's heart raced. This wasn't just about her and Jack anymore, it was about the town, the people they represented, and the lives they could touch. Just as she thought they'd swayed the man, he leaned closer. Fine. Let us say you get some traction, but think about what you'd have to give up. Are you really willing to fight a losing battle? His words lingered in the space between them, a heavy weight that threatened to crush their newly ignited resolve. Alex's eyes flicked to Jack, searching for a spark. In that moment, Jack's expression shifted from fierce determination to something deeper. Yes, he spoke softly yet firmly. If it means staying true to who we are, I'll fight for that. I'd rather fail trying than never have tried at all. Alex felt the surge of warmth spread through her chest. She realized that Jack truly understood her struggle. She took a step closer to him, her heart thudding. Together, we can build it, she declared, her voice trembling but unwavering. Change starts with us. We can create a community where people feel valued. The businessman's smirk faded slightly, but he regained control quickly. You're ambitious, I'll give you that. But ambition won't get you far here. Remember that. With that, he turned and walked back inside, leaving them both breathless. Alex watched him go, the warmth of Jack's presence still grounding her. She knew their battle was just beginning, but with Jack beside her, she felt stronger. The doubts began to melt away, replaced by a flicker of belief. Did we just challenge him? She asked, disbelief creeping into her voice. Jack chuckled softly, an infectious sound that made her heart flutter again. It seems we did. And we did it together. As they stood there, still wrapped in the coolness of the night, Alex felt a shift inside herself. I won to let fear win. Not anymore, she vowed, determination replacing hesitation. Jack's eyes sparkled as he looked at her. Me neither. We'll find a way. But deep down, a storm was brewing. What if their push against those powerful enough to end their ambitions would only ignite something dangerous? As they turned to walk back into the gala, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that they had just awakened a battle deep within the heart of Willow Creek. What consequences would they face for standing up against those who wielded power so easily? Would their courage lead to liberation or destruction? The moment they stepped back into the gala, it felt like entering a different world. The warm glow of lights reflected off the polished surfaces, laughter and music filling the space, but all Alex could focus on was the weight of their confrontation lingering in the air. It was surreal. Just moments ago, they had been locked in a battle of wills with a man who could easily shake the community to its core. Jack's grip on her hand offered comfort as he led her through the throng of elegantly dressed guests. She caught snippets of conversation, people marveling at the luxurious spread of food and the extravagant decor. Yet, beneath the beauty, Alex felt a knot tightening in her stomach. Did anyone here really understand the struggle of their community? Look! Jack nudged her shoulder, and Alex followed his gaze toward a corner where a group of teenagers gathered, their laughter echoing brightly. We should connect with them. They're the future, he said, determination etched on his face. Alex nodded, her spirits lifting slightly. Maybe this was where it began, fostering relationships and igniting hope among the youth. They approached the group, and the teens paused, eyeing them with curiosity. Hey, Jack said casually, flashing a friendly smile. What's happening? One girl stepped forward, her confidence shining through. We're just chillin'. You guys here for the whole we can change the world thing? she asked, a playful twinkle in her eye. Alex chuckled, relieved. Well, sort of. We're trying to figure out how to make this place better for all of us. Good luck with that, another boy chimed in, his tone light yet serious, like he had already seen too many promises fall flat. We're not shying away from the challenge, Alex replied, her voice firm. And honestly, we love your ideas. What do you want to see change in Willow Creek? As they spoke, the teens opened up, sharing their dreams and frustrations. They talked of the need for better parks, places to gather, ways to express themselves creatively. Ideas flowed like a river, each suggestion igniting excitement in Alex's chest. She could feel the energy building, fueling her hope. But then, out of the corner of her eye, she spotted movement. The businessman had returned, his imposing figure cutting through the crowd. He was deep in conversation with a woman whose poise rivaled the finest among them. It was then Alex noticed the insignia on the woman's clutch. It was the same emblem from the town hall meetings. Heart racing, Alex turned back to the teens, but it was as if the warmth had been sucked from the room. The laughter faded, replaced by tension as murmurs rippled through the group. Their trouble, one girl whispered, her voice shaking. We gotta stick together just in case. Jack's expression hardened, instinctively bracing against the potential threat. We can't let them bully us into silence. The young people nodded, defiance and unity swelling among them, a spark igniting in their eyes. Alex felt a swelling sense of purpose. This is it, she whispered to Jack, they need us together, we can make something happen. Just then, the businessman caught Alex's eye, a knowing smirk flashing across his face before he turned away. Something about that look sent a chill dancing down her spine. As the gala continued around them, Alex pondered the looming battle ahead. Would their newfound alliance be enough? Could they stand against the shadows that whispered promises of despair? The night pressed on, thick with uncertainty. But determination surged within her. They couldn't back down now. Everything just got real, Jack murmured softly. Are you ready? Taking a deep breath, Alex looked around at the group of bright-eyed youth who seemed to mirror the rising tide of resolve bubbling within her. We're just getting started, but would their bold intentions be enough to stand the test? The possibilities ahead loomed large, and she couldn't shake the feeling that a storm was brewing, waiting to unleash its fury. The murmur of the gala circled around them like a distant ocean, waves of laughter and music colliding with the ever-present anxiety that wrapped around Alex's chest. Jack's hand remained a lifeline, grounding her amidst the swirling chaos. She could feel every anxious heartbeat, each one echoing her growing determination. This was about more than just the gala. It was a movement. Jack gestured toward a distant table, where an older couple shared animated stories with a young man. Let us talk to them, he said, his tone brightening. They might have connections that could help us. As they navigated the crowd, Alex observed the elegance surrounding her, the glamour that could so easily mask the struggles they all faced. Her heart ached with the weight of her mission. How could they bridge the gap between the privileged and the people who needed real change? When they reached the table, the young man looked up with a smile that lit his face. His warm eyes contrasted sharply with the indifference she witnessed from the adults earlier. Hey there. I'm Noah. What's the best part of the gala for you so far? The hope, Alex replied, her voice steady despite her nerves. Hearing from the youth, seeing their passion for change. Noah nodded, enthusiasm radiating from him. That's so important. Change starts with us, but we need to reach those in a position to do something. We need resources. As they spoke, Alex noticed a brief flicker in Jack's expression, but she didn't have time to ponder it. Not now. She felt the momentum building. Ideas buzzed between them like the glimmering chandeliers overhead. But suddenly, a hand landed firmly on her shoulder. She turned to see the businessman looming above her, a shadow marring her burgeoning hope. Fancy seeing you here, Alex. Enjoying the evening? His smirk was as chilling as the cold air that swept through the gala. Actually, we were just talking about ways to uplift our community, Alex shot back, her voice sharpened by courage. Is that so? He leaned closer, an unsettling gleam in his eyes. You know, dreams are lovely, but money does the talking. Without it, you're just wind. Jack bristled beside her, his stance protective. Don't listen to him, Alex. We don't need his approval. With a steely look, Alex met the businessman's gaze. Money can't buy our passion or determination. He laughed, but it felt hollow, echoing like a distant bell. Remember this moment, the naivety of youth. You'll see soon enough. As he stepped away, Alex felt the youthful fire in her begin to flicker. But then Noah placed a hand on her arm. Don't let him get to you. You're right, we have to push through. The air crackled with tension, but she could feel the resolve building in her bones. They had each other. They would unite. Jack's gaze lingered on her face, then he leaned in, whispering, "Are you okay? We can leave." The warmth from his breath ignited something within her. No. I need to stick to the plan, she insisted, looking back at the group of teens bonding over ideas. This isn't just about us. We're in this together. Her voice grew firmer with each word, gaining momentum like an oncoming storm. Let us gather everyone. We need to strategize. Noah's eyes sparkled with ambition. Yes. I can gather the others. We can use social media to make our voices heard. As they moved to form a collective, something wrapped itself around her heart, a sense of belonging. They were united, each one a critical piece of the puzzle. But just as they began to strategize, a loud crash rippled through the gala. Alex turned to see a waiter stumbling, spilling champagne across the floor. The crowd gasped collectively while laughter mixed with murmurs of disgust. Alex instinctively filled with dread. Is this a sign? Jack asked quietly, uncertainty lacing his voice as they watched the dramatic shift in atmosphere. With a deep breath, Alex steadied herself, grounding her resolve. No. This is just the beginning. But as she surveyed the crowd for the reaction of the businessman, she couldn't shake the feeling that the unexpected was yet to come. What more would unfold tonight? Would the storm of resistance they were building hold against the tide, or was something darker on the horizon, waiting to pull them under? The tension in the air thickened as the gala atmosphere shifted. Alex felt the weight of countless eyes on her, like beams from flickering spotlights. She caught Jack's worried glance but forced a smile, determined to brush off the unease that threatened to engulf them. We're okay, she assured him. We can handle this. But the shaky start had shaken more than just her confidence. As Noah dashed off to gather the others, Alex could see others in the crowd exchanging hushed words, some laughing nervously while others glanced toward her, eyebrows raised. To them, she was just a girl with a big dream, clutching onto nothing but fervor. Hey, Alex. Jack's voice drew her away from her thoughts. He nodded toward the table that housed the older couple. What if they can help us? Let us see if they'll talk deeper. Alex nodded, gathering her resolve. They approached the couple, who had transitioned from casual conversation to an animated discussion among themselves. Their laughter was infectious, a fleeting slice of normalcy amidst chaos. When they noticed Alex and Jack, the older woman smiled warmly, her kind eyes sparkling. Hi there. Enjoying the gala? She asked, her voice rich like honey. Actually, we're on a mission tonight, Alex said, her confidence rising again. We're pushing for a change in our community, rallying support for youth initiatives. Can we count on your backing? Change, The older man rubbed his chin thoughtfully, assessing. It's noble work you're pursuing, but what do you truly seek? A platform, Jack interjected, his expression earnest. We need allies. With connections, we can bring awareness to issues people are facing, real issues. It's not all glitz and glamour here. The couple nodded, exchanging looks of intrigue. Before anything more could be said, Noah rejoined them, breathless and brimming with excitement. I gathered everyone we could, all the young people. They're over there by the fountain. His voice trembled with energy, and Alex felt her heartbeat sync with his enthusiasm. Suddenly, the burst of laughter from the crowd erupted again as the waiter returned with another tray of champagne, this time carefully balanced. As the crowd's attention diverted, Jack mustered the courage to step forward. Let us show them what we've got. With the couple and Noah beside them, they moved to join the younger crowd near the fountain. Excitement thrummed through her veins. This was their moment. But just as they were about to present their vision, a familiar figure emerged from the crowd, a hefty man, dressed in a tailored suit, whose icy glare sent shivers through Alex's spine. The naivety of youth strikes again, he boomed, his voice cutting through the festive chatter. You lot don't even understand the first thing about running a business or making money. Alex clenched her fists, a fire igniting in her chest. We don't need to trade hope for cash. People are worth more than their dollar signs. The businessman smirked, raising a brow. Even in your righteous passion, millions of necessary resources won't come cheap. Before Alex could respond, the older woman from the table stepped in. Now, just a moment. These young people are full of ambition. Stop dismissing them based on sterile statistics. The businessman's expression shifted, confusion rippling across his face. Jack leaned in and whispered to Alex, this could be it. Let us dig deeper. In that charged moment, something clicked. The old couple had shown their support, igniting a chain of encouragement. Alex's heart raced, hope and fear mixing within her. Could they actually sway him? Listen, Alex began again, meeting the businessman's gaze. We're building connections, not just for us, but for our community. So what if we start small? Passion can grow, and sometimes it takes just one person to pave the way. An unexpected silence settled over the crowd, and she realized that everyone was listening. The moment stretched, tension coiling like a spring. Alex could feel the weight of their gazes. What if this pivotal moment could change everything? But was he willing to listen? What if he wasn't the only one who needed a change? The question hung in the air, tantalizing yet terrifying, and she wondered who would take the next step. Would they allow doubt to win, or would strong voices rise above the skepticism? The evening felt far from over, and Alex couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the edge of something monumental. The crowd was still, tension thick enough to cut. Alex's heart raced, her eyes darting between Jack and the older couple, looking for reassurance. The businessman stood there, still clutching his drink, eyebrow arched in skepticism. You think you can just wish change into existence? He finally said, the smirk returning to his face. No, Alex replied firmly, her pulse hammering in her ears. But we can inspire it. There's so much talent out there just waiting for a chance. The murmurs in the crowd shifted into a low hum, curiosity entwining with doubt. Jack stepped closer, projecting confidence even when it was thin as tissue. We're not just asking for your support. We're inviting you to be part of something bigger. This isn't about us, it's about those who feel powerless. The businessman leaned back, crossing his arms. And what if it fails? You'll end up wasting everyone's time. Alex's breath caught. What if it succeeds? What if you're the one who helped us start? Time seemed to hang suspended as her words echoed through the air. The older woman's expression shifted, a twinkle sparking in her eyes. She nudged her husband, whispering something that Alex couldn't quite catch. Jack's eyes flickered with renewed hope. People care. People want to see change. They want to believe it's possible. And that's when an unexpected voice cut through the tension like a hot knife. You know what, I believe them. All heads turned as a young, sharply dressed man stepped forward from the crowd. His confident stance and easy smile drew everyone's attention, even the businessmen seemed taken aback. "I'm not here to win any popularity contests. I'm here because I see potential in these young people. We all should." Alex's heart fluttered. Who was this guy? "I've come from nothing," he continued, "and I've fought like hell to make it. Yeah, it was rough and I had my share of doubters, but when I finally got a seat at the table, I couldn't just ignore those still struggling on the floor. I owe it to them." The crowd erupted into a mix of cheers and whispers, excitement building. Alex's gaze locked with Jack's, their mutual astonishment vivid in their expressions. "Thank you," Alex breathed, the words barely escaping her lips. It felt good to have someone else fighting their corner. But who was he really? "Let's talk numbers, shall we?" The businessman cut in, trying to regain control of the moment. "If you have a plan, I want to hear it. Show me what you've got, and maybe I'll reconsider." "No gimmicks. Just a solid vision," Alex replied, her heartbeat steadying. "We're not asking for handouts, just a chance. A chance to change lives." The young man nodded, a fire ignited in his eyes. "And I can help bridge that gap. Money isn't everything, but it can be a powerful tool." As the businessman reconsidered, Noah stepped forward, eager to seize the moment. "We have ideas. We have people. But we just need someone to listen." The atmosphere shifted. There was electricity in the air now, an undeniable energy that stirred within the gathered crowd. Young faces lit up with anticipation, older faces softened with nostalgia or pride. Jack turned to Alex, his voice steady. "Could this really be happening? Do we have a shot at this?" Alex nodded slowly, her mind racing. "We just might." But as the businessman began to speak again, her heart sank slightly. Objection still brewed beneath the surface, and she wondered if belief was truly enough. Would they stand a chance against the cold logic of commerce? What would it take to convince them all? The stakes felt higher than ever, and the weight of the moment pressed against her chest. What if they were finally at the turning point? Would they risk everything, or would they stumble at the finish line? As the night wore on, Alex knew one thing: the next few minutes would determine their fate. Would they convince the businessmen to take that leap with them, or would they walk away from this opportunity with regret? The time for action was now, and hope hung delicately in the balance. Alex's pulse quickened, skimming the crowd, searching for encouragement. She could sense the shadows of doubt re-entering the atmosphere as the businessman prepared to reply. "Fine," he said, tilting his head. "But let's say I'm somewhat convinced. Show me something concrete. What exactly are we talking about here?" The young man, whose name Alex still didn't know, leaned in, speaking intently. "We need a space, a community hub where talent can grow. A place for workshops, performances, and mentorship." His enthusiasm was palpable, sparking interest in the room. Jack chimed in, "We have connections with artists, musicians, innovators. This could be the launchpad for them." The roar of agreement surged through their supporters, a wave of energy feeding back into the moment. "But funding isn't enough," Alex interjected, her voice stronger now. "We need commitment, passion, and faith, investment in the future, not just the present." Her gaze swept the crowd, daring anyone to disagree. A palpable silence followed, and for a fleeting moment, Alex worried about the fragile thread of hope they were weaving. The businessman rubbed his chin, a slight frown creasing his brow. "And what makes you think the public will come to this hub?" He had transformed from skeptical to mildly interested, a subtle shift that gave them a glimmer of hope. Alex gestured toward the crowd. "Look at all these faces. They want something real. The young dreamers, the old souls, everyone here is hungry for a chance." She could see some nodding, the understanding at least brushing against their hearts. Yet, just as the tension lifted slightly, the businessman's voice sliced back through, cold and sharp. And what's your fallback plan if this fails? The familiar tightness returned to her chest, but instead of answering, she felt a sudden surge from the audience. A woman in the back yelled, "We're not here to fail." The crowd echoed her sentiment, suddenly alive with voices blending into a powerful chorus. "That's right." Another shouted, and the momentum began to swell. It felt like a tidal wave surging through, courage igniting spirits, pushing them all forward. Alex reveled in the warmth of camaraderie, but she couldn't ignore the businessman's skeptical glare. He leaned in slightly, evaluating Alex's determination. "You think idealism can fill seats?" The sharp young man stepped closer, his gaze unwavering. "No. But community does. You need to feel that connection." "But what if you all just end up burnt out?" "The city is tough on dreams," he countered. "Real change takes grit," Alex replied, each syllable laced with conviction. "We'll fight for it, just like others fought for us." There was something electric in the air, a spark that turned their pleas into something almost tangible. Just then, a sudden reminder of reality struck. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, vibrating insistently. She discreetly glanced down. A text from her mother flashed on the screen, an urgent message asking if she was okay. It pulled her focus momentarily, fear prickling at the edges of her ambition. She shook off the worry, looking back up to find all eyes still on her. This is about more than just a project, it's about hope and dreaming bigger together. The businessman paused. His serious demeanor faltered, revealing a glimmer of contemplation. Could this really be happening? The crowd's energy surged like an unstoppable tide, urging one another to believe, to push for change, to act. As his gaze roamed through the audience, Alex could feel her heart racing. Something had shifted. "What do you need from me?" he finally asked, his voice thick with hesitant uncertainty. Her heart skipped. Was this it? Hope hung in the air, fragile yet glowing. Could they really turn this moment into a beginning instead of an ending? Before she could respond, the crowd erupted into further applause, drowning out her thoughts. She stood tall, a smile blooming on her face. "Just your support to start." But as the tension began to dissolve into excitement, a haunting question loomed in her mind. Would this be enough to sustain their dreams, or was the storm of past failures still to come crashing back down? In that fleeting moment of hope, Alex held her breath. What would the answer be? The applause rolled on like a wave crashing gently onto the shore, but in the midst of the joyful noise, Alex felt a ripple of anxiety. Those moments in which hopes were given wings could be fleeting, and the businessman's hesitance gnawed at her. "Okay," he said, his voice slicing through the clamor, "I'll back you, but only if you can show me a clear outline of what you want to create. I want numbers, metrics, proof." Alex nodded, fighting the urge to panic. This was what they needed, wasn't it? But how could they condense their passion into cold data? Her mind raced, fueled by adrenaline. "We can do that. I'll connect with our supporters, compile testimonials, show how this can elevate the community." Behind her, Jack was already jotting notes furiously, his enthusiasm propelling him forward. "We can gather stories from local artists and business owners about how this hub would change lives. It's not just about numbers, it's about impact." The businessman leaned back, his steely expression wavering as curiosity flickered in his eyes. "I want to see you put that passion into something tangible," he instructed, a hint of challenge in his tone. But as the conversations buzzed around her, Alex felt her mother's message echo in her mind. She needed to check in, reassure her. With a final nod to the crowd, she stepped aside, quickly typing a reply. "I'm okay, just busy. Just trying to build something important." When she looked back, she could see faces still turned toward the stage, hunger and fire alive in their eyes. The energy was electric, contagious. Her heart beat a little faster at the thought of rallying them, introducing the vision definitively. Just then, a firm hand rested on her shoulder. It was the sharp young man, his presence grounding. "You got this, Alex. We all do." His voice stirred something deep within her, an encouragement she needed. Before she could respond, she caught sight of a familiar face in the crowd. It was Emma, her old high school friend, who had once dreamed of playing guitar on grand stages. With determination etched into her features, Emma stepped forward, catching Alex's eye. "Let me help," she said. "I can reach out to others. There are performers who would love to work with this hub." Alex felt waves of gratitude wash over her, words tumbling from her lips. "Definitely. Let us expand this. If we join forces, we could create something impossible to ignore." As she turned back towards the businessman, she was met with an appreciative nod. "If you can galvanize this movement, you might stand a chance," he said, a glimmer of belief creeping into his tone. A flurry of conversations erupted, friends finding one another, swapping ideas. From the corner of her eye, Alex saw other familiar faces join in, spark igniting further enthusiasm like fire catching to dry wood. For a moment, it all felt possible, the dreams burning bright, the plans falling into place. However, as the night wore on, tendrils of anxiety coiled back into her mind. Could this be sustained? Could they keep the wind in their sails when doubt washed over them like an unexpected storm? Just as she embraced the moment, a sudden shout pierced through the crowd. "What about permissions? Venues? Regulations?" A newcomer voiced the unthinkable, the harsh reality they had to navigate. The collective energy shifted slightly. Alex clenched her fists, grounding herself. This wouldn't stop them, they had to keep pushing forward. "We'll tackle each obstacle as it comes. We're not just building a place. We're building a family." Renewed cheers erupted, but deep inside, Alex sensed the weight of that looming question. How would they handle setbacks? And then came another buzz from her phone. This time, it was a news alert about a major tech company announcing layoffs. The city was already facing turmoil, but what if their dreams depended on power on the other side of the struggle? As she glanced towards the businessman, a new sense of urgency washed over her. "We're not just trying to create something for today, we're building resilience for tomorrow," she declared. But behind that conviction, fear lingered. Could they truly stand firm against the tides of uncertainty? As she scanned the crowd, the faces around her filled with hope and determination, all she could think was, would their fight truly matter when the storm came crashing? The night wore on, and the energy in the room swelled like a powerful tide. Alex felt the weight of her earlier worries begin to lift, replaced by a flicker of hope that danced through the air. They were forging connections, sparking a change, and igniting a shared vision. Yet, even amidst the clamor of laughter and camaraderie, the shadows of doubt lurked, ready to pounce at the first sign of vulnerability. "Let us gather everyone in the center." Jack's voice rose above the noise, cutting through the murmur. "We need to make sure everyone feels included. It's time to come together. This is our moment." With that command, excitement rippled through the group. Alex watched in disbelief as her friends, neighbors, and newfound supporters quickly converged around them. There was power in numbers, she realized the kind of power that could inspire a community to rise. "Listen up, everyone," Jack called out, his eyes igniting with passion. "We are launching an initiative tonight, something to connect us all, a community hub for creativity, collaboration, and opportunity. But for it to work, we need each of you to be a part of it." The crowd responded with a surge of applause and cheers, a chorus vibrant with unity. It felt surreal, a potent mix of inspiration and determination mixed in the air around them. Alex stepped forward, finding her voice as the crowd quieted. "Together, we can create a space for artists, for the misfits, for dreamers. A place that nurtures our talent, bonds us as a community, and propels us into the future." The atmosphere swelled with excitement. She saw the glimmer of hope reflected in familiar faces, their friends, their peers, all yearning for something greater. They wanted to rise above their struggles and the expectations of others. Emma chimed in, her voice confident. We can host workshops, art shows, anything that shines a light on our talent. We're not just dreaming, we're making this happen. As ideas bounced back and forth, voices rose in excitement. Someone mentioned a fundraiser, another proposed local performances to showcase talents. Suddenly, a shadow passed over the gathering, a chill that made Alex's heart race. It was the businessman again, his presence looming but less threatening this time. Impressive, he said, an edge of skepticism still present in his tone, though Alex noticed curiosity threading through. But I need to know how you'll execute this. I require a real plan. Jack stepped forward, unabashed. We're ready to take that challenge. We will create a detailed proposal, showing how this hub will benefit the community, outlining our steps moving forward. The businessman nodded slowly. Good. A plan needs accountability. But remember, you're launching into the unknown. It could turn against you. Alex felt the breath hitch in her throat. And if it does? She paused, taking ownership of that fear as she faced him. We'll get back up. We're ready for that chance. And in that moment, something shifted. The crowd roared with enthusiasm, palpable support thrumming through the air. Their belief in change surged like a wave crashing against the rocks, determined to mold the landscape. As the murmurs of doubt lessened, Alex could feel a warmth emanate from their shared conviction, a glimmer of belief that they could build something significant together. Let us create this community together. She prompted, her voice blending with Jack's. Will you all stand with us? Cries of yes rang throughout, echoing against the walls that once felt like barriers. But just as hope began to saturate the atmosphere, Alex remembered Lily at home, her sweet daughter who looked to her for strength, and the nagging doubt surged again. What if they failed? The businessman's eyes swept the crowd, measuring the intensity of their response. I still need proof of this being viable, he said. Show me that the community wants this, gather data on interest, support. We'll meet again in 2 weeks. 2 weeks it is. Jack remarked, adrenaline fueling his spirit. Alex's heart soared at their momentum, the possibility stretching out before them. We will gather stories, testimonials, and show that together, we can pave the way for our future. As the minutes turned into plans, they enveloped one another in a group huddle that felt electric, each person shining with potential. With unwavering determination, Alex raised a hand. We're not just creating a space. We are building a legacy that resonates through generations. Together, we are unbreakable. Cheers erupted as hands met together, clapping in solidarity. They were more than just individuals trying to survive, they were a wave of inspiration, a testament to resilience. As the night began to wind down, the crowd dispersed in high spirits, warmth radiating through the cool air. Alex turned to Jack, gratitude swelling in her chest. We did it. But now we have to make it count. Jack nodded, hope and possibility shining in his eyes. This is just the beginning, Alex. With that, they walked into the night, buoyed by each other and the community surrounding them. They had taken the first steps toward transformation, a journey filled with potential. Yet inside, shadows lingered on the journey ahead. Would they have the power to inspire change, not just for themselves, but for all of Willow Creek? Only time would tell, but Alex clenched her fists, feeling the fire of determination. Ready for whatever comes next? She whispered to the universe. And deep in her heart, she knew. They would face it all together. Now was the moment to take action, to share their story. You need to subscribe now to witness how this journey unfolds. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to fuel our purpose and keep the inspiration alive. Comment below your thoughts, feelings, and what you will do to support this initiative. Share this message with at least 5 friends who believe in change and inspiration. Don't wait not even one more second to spread the hope that ignites transformation.